Hi guys, is it possible for a member of the Trump administration to not insult another country? So recently we had JD Vance insulting the United Kingdom and Europe, we had Donald Trump of course insulting Canada, and we had the Defense Secretary undermining Ukraine. Now we have the US Secretary of State Marco Rubio claiming that Cuban doctors are being treated like forced labor when they operate around the world. Now, since 1959, Cuban medical personnel have operated overseas, primarily in Latin America and Africa, providing their expertise to underprivileged populations. However, when the US official tried to misrepresent this initiative, he was called out by the Jamaican Prime Minister.
This is not about the provision of medical assistance. We have no problem with medical assistance. We have no problem with doctors. But I'm just talking about this program in general, how it's operated around the world. And how it's operated around the world is that basically the doctors are not paid. They basically operate as forced labor.
Let us be clear. The Cuban doctors in Jamaica have been incredibly helpful to us. Jamaica has a deficit in health personnel, primarily because many of our health personnel have migrated to other countries. We are, however, very careful not to exploit the Cuban doctors who are here. We ensure that they are treated within our labor laws and benefit like any other worker. So any characterization of the program by others certainly would not be applicable to Jamaica. We are ensuring that our program complies with all the international laws and standards to which we are a party to.
You know, did Marco Rubio's parents never tell him when he was growing up, if you don't have something good to say, don't say anything at all? So is Marco Rubio and the Trump administration concerned about the welfare of these Cuban doctors? Of course not. They don't give a crap about their own people. Why would they give a crap about medical staff in Cuba? Now, Cuba has been providing support to many countries in Latin America. Even during the pandemic, Italy, of course, was one of the first countries hit back in 2020. And I remember Cuban medical staff coming to lend support because the healthcare system in Italy was close to collapse at the time, and the Italian government thanked Cuba for its support. Now, are there cases of medical staff not receiving pay or being forced? Maybe there are, but that's an internal issue within Cuba. That's an issue for those countries that are operating with Cuba to resolve. It's nothing to do with the United States. Like, there are people traveling to Cuba for medical support, medical treatment, because it's too expensive in the United States. You know, if you don't have health insurance, you're frigged. So it is a bit rich for the Secretary of State to criticize Cuba here, and this is what he's trying to do. They're attempting to put the boot in. The United States has had nothing but contempt for Cuba for a long time now, and there's a lot of Cuban Americans in the United States, of course, who are not very happy with the regime in Cuba. But when it comes to the medical staff, they are providing extremely important support for underprivileged countries. As the Jamaican Prime Minister pointed out, you know, we have lost a lot of staff, trained staff to immigration, and we need support. And we're very thankful for Cuba for providing that support. This is not the business of the United States. They should keep their nose out of this. It's nothing to do with Marco Rubio or Donald Trump. All they're trying to do here is insult Cuba and indirectly insult Jamaica and try and undermine the great work that these doctors and medical staff are doing. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.